Hi everybody, it's Robbie from Southern California. And Gary too. He's somewhere. Where are you, Gary? Wave! Okay, this is just a vlog. I'm sitting out in the yard. It's election day. So I'm sitting out in the yard and staying away from the TV. There's nothing nicer than turning on the TV and they've already projected before anybody started voting. So I don't need that. May the best man win. That's a safe one to say, isn't it, Gary? May the best man win and hope for a better 2021 than we've had in 2020. Anyway, so I'm sitting out in the garden. It's beautiful today. They said it was going to be quite warm, but I don't think it's that hot, but it's beautiful. And then it's supposed to get warmer, and then let's see. They're saying by Friday and Saturday, we're supposed to be getting down into the 60s. That's a big change. I'm still doing gardening. I'm working on a video on hummingbirds that bark. You know, it's something I knew and I kind of took it for granted, and I never put a video together about it. And then I started looking up to see what I could talk about, and there wasn't anything really much on it except that they make a lot of noise. So I'm doing that, and I've got my deck garden coming up. I'm going to do that. I haven't done anything. You know, there's nothing nicer than to plant up a tote and not have to touch it for a few years and let it just do its thing. And that's what I'm doing a lot on my deck. Around the garden right now, I'm going to wait and see how the weather goes. We still have tomatoes and all the plants are still growing. I still have squash. I'm picking squash. And we have Malabar spinach, and I'll have to do something in Gary's garden. Oh, Gary's all excited. Do you want me to come? Here, I'll walk over there. He went trash picking. No, he actually didn't go trash picking. You went property jumping. No, what they knocked down a building and they left. Let's see. So what is that, Gary?
It's pieces of a Peruvian apple cactus.
So there was no fruit on the one you picked up today yet?
No, I went there a month ago and they had fruit. I brought some fruit home and we tasted the fruit.
That was real. It was almost like dragon fruit in a way.
It's similar to dragon fruit, that it doesn't have the thorns and you eat it the same way, but it's got an apple flavour. So it's got an interesting flavour to it.
So where did you put all this when you threw it? You just threw it in the back of the truck?
I threw it in the back of the truck.
It didn't blow out?
No, it's not going to blow out.
That would be dangerous if it did.
So
look at the thorns on that. Let me see if I can get, I can't see. Am I getting a close shot? Because I'm behind the camera now.
You got a close shot.
So this you're just going to plant in your garden, or where are you planting it?
I might put it in pots. I'll get some sand and clay and mix that together so it's free draining, and I'll just stick it in some pots, and when it sets root I'll plant it around the yard.
You should do a video on that, and then as it grows you can show how the progress is going on it.
Yeah. So
how long will it take, you think, till we get fruit?
Because these are fairly large pieces, I'm not sure. It might be a year or two. It shouldn't be too long with the larger pieces if they set. So
these things get massive. Our neighbor's got one.
Our neighbor's got one.
They get massive.
Yeah, and down at the mission.
Oh, that was the ones, they were like 20, 30 feet
20,
up.
30 feet, yeah.
Gee, I don't even know if I have any pictures of that. The birds were eating the fruit?
Yeah, San Juan Capistrano. They had one out front or out the back of that.
Well, these get so big, where are you going to put them?
Well, you can cut them down when you take pieces off, and you keep it short, and you could keep them 6 foot tall. Our neighbour's is probably 10, 12 foot.
Does he trim it, or just stays that height?
It hasn't gotten that tall yet.
Did he plant it from a...
Yeah, he planted it.
Wow. Oh, wow. Isn't that cool? That was a good find.
Yeah, it was.
And you think they're going to demolish the building?
Yeah, they leveled the building, and the plant that I removed the fruit from, they'd already removed out, and these are just... They haven't taken care of it, and I'm going to say they're going to remove the plants that are still there. Right now it's just a level lot.
Well, let me ask you. Let me see. I'm trying to get a shot of this. Making sure my camera is on. When you plant these, is this like dragon fruit? You just stick it in a pot, or do you have to cut the bottom so it gets water? They look a little dry. Or do you just leave it?
Cut it into segments and let it heal over, but I'm just going to plant plant it, put that part a little bit in the soil and prop it up, and then let it grow from there. But yeah, I don't think they've seen water for years.
No, I can see that. They look like they're sunken in. That's really cool. So before I walk away, I'll go take a walk over to my chair garden. Anything else you want to say?
No, that's pretty much it.
Beautiful day today. Look at the sky. Is that gorgeous? It is beautiful. So what else is new? So I'm still working around the yard, and I'll be doing plenty of garden tours. I'm just kind of waiting to get really big into what I'm doing with like all these chairs. Maybe after the holidays, because now we've got the holidays going. We're just getting into the holidays, and I think once the election's over, maybe people will calm down and start thinking, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to be thinking, because it's going to be a different holiday. I mean, even for me, it's really hard because I'm the one that makes really all the family get together dinners and lunches and parties, and I miss everybody, and everybody is doing their own thing and kind of staying away from everybody. I realize that not all states are the same. We hear there's issues. In Southern California, there's a lot of issues. Maybe not as bad as other states, but boy, I don't know. And then I was watching, there were some vloggers. Let's walk over and get out of the sun. I was watching some vloggers in Vegas because they shut down, I think it's in Hollywood Boulevard. Sorry about that, my camera shut off. As I was saying, in Hollywood, I think it's Hollywood Boulevard, thousands upon thousands of people get all dressed up in costumes, and Halloween has become really, really, really big there. So I guess being that they shut that down and shut it off, a lot of people around Vegas, and there were people all over, no mask, no nothing, and I just hope that there won't be a big outbreak of the virus. So we'll see. It's been hard because, you don't want to just sit in the house all day. I'm fortunate enough to have plenty to do, as you can see, so I can go outside, but that doesn't make it easier when you still miss your, the grandkids and my parents and my family and my cousins and everybody. You don't see anybody like we used to get together for different things. So time will tell when all this will settle down and what's going to be, but all we could do is do what we could do, and I'll try to be out here to show you what I'm doing, and rest assured, we're all here for each other, and I'm trying to keep things together here too and get gardening. And I want people to garden because there's nothing nicer than getting out and walking around and working in your garden. And this is why I promote, if you want to use the word promote, the chair garden, because anybody can do it. You need a few chairs, and I'm going to show you how you can do it even with folding chairs. So if you want something off the ground. Now granted, if you want to grow in the ground, go and grow in the ground, but I can't here. I have rabbits here and everything takes it out. And here on the chairs, this has been amazing. I know there's a big glare from the sun. I've got a lot of sun. Maybe I'll walk back over there. We're in the shade more. So that's why I'm trying to get you to think that chairs, the reason I talk about chairs is a chair is designed to hold 150, 200 pounds or more. So you don't have to worry about putting a tote on. But you don't have to put a tote. You can put any container you want. And I've got other things I'm going to be putting on chairs. So that's basically it. So what else are we doing? We're going to enjoy the weather this week, because come this Saturday, I'm going to be a wimp when it starts getting down to the 40s at night, because I don't like the cold. Maybe Gary will like the fireplace. I think today I'm going to make fried chicken. I ordered chicken from Walmart, so I'm expecting a delivery today. And that's amazing. If you would have told me last year this time, hey, Robbie, you're going to get all your stuff you need from Walmart and the rest of it's coming out of your garden, I would have said, I don't know. No, that's not ever going to happen. I couldn't even believe it. I was barely shopping at Walmart even before, just little bits here and there. Now, I literally get all my groceries. I don't buy any fresh produce. I have not bought any fresh produce. If I was going to buy fresh produce, I would buy, what would I buy? Potatoes and mushrooms. That would be really the only thing. As far as anything else, I have bought frozen peas, more for some of the animals around here, but I'll grab some and put it in something. But as far as really everything else, we really have so many vegetables, I'm just thinking in our garden, all our gardens, that I don't really need to think about anything. And as, as far as vegetables and fruit, we've been using whatever fruit we grow, papayas and things like that, and a lot of fruit off the trees, and we froze a lot of that. I'm not real big in the canning, no particular reason. Canning's great. I think I did it a long time ago once, and it's a lot of work, and I worry if you do something wrong, so I just prefer to freeze. That's it. I wanted to just kind of say hello. It's a quiet day today. Like I said, Gary had an outing to do, and he called me all excited. They knocked down the building, and the cactus is sitting there. I'm going to figure out how to get it. I don't know how he got it. He had a pair of gloves, but I don't know how he took it. So I told you I've done it. I brought home this cactus back here. It was a leaf sitting out in the street, and I picked it up, and there was no thorns on it. This one has almost no thorns. It's thornless. And then the next time I drove by, there was another big leaf, and I grabbed it. It was full of thorns, and I had to come home and take all the thorns out. So let's see. So I'm making fried chicken today. I'm getting that, and tried to order hamburgers, and they were out. My daughter's been telling me they've been running out a lot of meat. The reason I like buying frozen hamburgers, I think I've talked about this, is you can get like a 10-pack. And when you get a 10-pack, you can take out one. So I can take out one hamburger. I'm going to stand under the tree. Oh, this tree. I'll get into that in a minute. Look at this tree. Isn't this gorgeous? You can take out one hamburger, and you could chop up some zucchini and add in zucchini to the fried meat, and you end up with a big frying pan full of meat, but it's not. It's vegetables with a little bit of hamburger, and you would never know it. It tastes like the whole frying pan tastes like meat. It's so good. Just season it like you would whatever way you're going to use it. So I was surprised they didn't have hamburgers, which is okay because I got one in the freezer still. I just want to have extra. But I am getting chicken, so I think I'll cut some of it up and make fried chicken. And then, I'll take you one day real soon into the kitchen, and I'll do a cooking segment, just a raw cooking segment. Just go in there, and this is why I haven't done a cooking segment. I literally go in the kitchen, I look in the refrigerator, I bring in some stuff from the garden, I look at everything and think, what am I going to make today? And just kind of throw it together. And whatever it turns out, that's what we make. We keep rice on hand, and I keep pasta. I like spaghetti, and it's all gluten-free. The pasta is gluten-free. I love Barbarella gluten-free pasta. That's the only one I like. So I can make a whole meal in minutes. That's the Walmart telling me that my delivery is here. They just honked. I can make a whole meal, 1, 2, 3, and the only problem is they're working on that house and it's so loud. Let's walk over here. The only problem is, look at all the stuff Gary's been piling. Kind of moving things around. Is that when I make something, sometimes I forget how I did it, and I made something really good the other day, and then Gary said, how'd you do that? And I thought, I should just put the video camera in the kitchen, just go for it, even if it's my raw footage on what I made, and I could share it with you, but at least I'd be able to go look for it and be able to do it again. What did I do the other day? My daughter had me buy these, it's not dehydrated, I think it's freeze-dried hash browns. She said it's magnificent. So she talked me into it. That was from Sam's Club. So I bought that, and you take a cup of it to a cup of hot water. You let it sit for a half hour, and it turns into potatoes that are shredded potatoes. So you can do whatever you want. Potato pancakes. You can, of course, make hash browns. You could do anything you want with it. So what I did, I should tell you so I'll remember, because I can barely remember. I took the hash browns. I didn't take the hash browns, potatoes that were soaking. And then I mixed in about a tablespoon of mayonnaise, 2 eggs, salt and pepper. I think I put a little turmeric in. See, I should have done a video, I would have remembered. Mix that all up, and then I poured in a little bit of milk. I use lactose-free right now. And I kind of mixed it all up, and it was like, kind of got a little bit, too much liquid to it because of the milk. So I had some gluten-free cornbread mix. It's a big mix. And I put in about a few tablespoons of that, and that kind of thickened it up. Then I put it into a roasting pan, not even usually I would use like a baking pan. I put it in a roasting pan because I was roasting a whole chicken, and in a different pan. So I put it in a roasting pan that was kind of coated in oil, and pat that in there, covered it back just like you'd be roasting a chicken, and I left it in the oven 350 for about 20 minutes. And then I came out here to garden, and I came back in, and Gary took it out. He goes, "I rescued your potatoes." He came in. And what I did then is I grated some cheese. I think I used sharp cheddar cheese. Put that on the top and put it under the broiler for just 3 or 4 minutes and melted the cheese. It was so good, really good. Oh, on my windowsill, I was growing some walking onions. And the birds always come when I start talking out here. I was growing walking onions, and they got kind of stringy, and they were growing really tall, and they fell over. So I just did a haircut on the walking onions. I usually don't do it that way. And they were so fine, the walking onions, and they smelled like onion chives. And I chopped that up, and I put that in there to bake the whole thing. So good. This is the way I cook. This is the problem. It's like I have no recipes, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Oh, I don't have this, I'll use that instead. And, oh, if I'm out of eggs, I'll use mayonnaise because mayonnaise is eggs. So this is basically the way I cook. So maybe one day I will do something. I do want to get the pizza together because nobody that I've seen is doing pizza like I make. And it's so good, so easy to make too. And I use a lot of stuff from the garden when I make pizza. All right, well, I think I'm gonna go get some watering done. I don't have too much to do because it hasn't been too hot, but I'm gonna go water the wall a little bit. I'm gonna water it with, I could take you with me when I water the chair garden. It's amazing. It's just literally, it's a circle. You think how much do I have to water? I'll take you with me because it's ridiculous. I don't know if the water's on. Gary has this separate, so sometimes he doesn't have it on. I'm gonna try to do this with one hand holding the phone and one hand, let's see if the water, if it's not on, well, the other way is to use the dipper. Oh, it's on. Now we don't want the water too much because it's just a small, look at this. You think, well, how long does it take to water your garden? Now let's see if I can get you up high enough so you can see. This is the easiest garden. I'm just trying to get through. Okay, here we go. So we've got lettuce growing in here. Then we got that one done. I got some popolo growing in here, an eggplant, celery, lettuce all over in this squash that really needs to be taken out. I don't want to have the water on too hard, really high, because I've got a lot of seedlings coming up. And guess what? Most of us kill our own seedlings. We drown them. So I want to have the water really low. This is it. Here I've got a pepper growing in this one. I've got a whole cluster of tomatoes growing, which I don't need all that. Here I've got an eggplant, tomato, parsley, some beans that kind of got fried in the heat. That's just some walking onions I put there. Another tomato. You really don't have to do much. Remember, when you water the top one, it's already watering the bottom. I have to get the strawberries out. I don't want strawberries. Tomatoes, celery, pepper. Oh, the sun is in my eyes. This is it. And I could go quicker too if I wanted to. This is it. And now we're done. Now remember, I still have the containers. Really should stand this up. I still have the containers to use the dipper to water. But this is it. I'm done. Walk over and do the cardboard box. It's still standing, but it's off the ground. So I really would take it apart. But now that I've got all those chairs down there, I don't need to take it apart right now. And I've got a lot of tomatillos on this one. That's it. We're done. I don't know how long did it take me. And sometimes it doesn't even take that long. So that's it. And then I've got the bed back here. I just hit it with a hose. But literally, this garden to water, I've only been watering it since we've cooled down twice a week. I check it, and the containers really hold water good. So I think it's just fantastic. I like the idea you can surface this. See, let's see if you can see it. You can go around from the outside as well as the inside. They're building a house up there, a big house. So that's what's been so loud. You know, it's been taking years. I'd be so impatient, but maybe that's the way it is. I don't know. I've never built a house from scratch. That's it. So we're done. Now I'm going to go and see if anything else needs to be watered. I don't know if the wall needs to be watered, but probably not that much because there's not that many plants in there. I've got a tomato still growing, and I've got a couple moringas. I just want to make sure the water stays really good for them because I only planted them a little bit ago. So I guess with that, I've kind of vlogged for today. Peaceful, quiet day. I'll probably turn on the news later, and hopefully we can all just get back to the holidays. Maybe a lot of us will Zoom. I have never Zoomed. I have only FaceTimed twice. I think I FaceTimed with you guys, with my mom, and I don't even know if I've ever FaceTimed with Gary. I must have. I don't FaceTime. So that's it. So now I'm going to go look around, see what else needs to be watered. Maybe some of the gardens down there. I mean, it's still growing. I am so surprised to have cucumbers growing. And I really don't want to overplant yet because I have so much still. So once everything is settled and I figure out what, you know, how the weather's going to be, if it gets really cold, I'll lose everything. Here we had all the heat and we lost, well, I didn't really lose things, but some things got kind of toasty. Like I had some beans I had planted in my chair garden and I should have covered them a little. And we had another heat wave came in, but they're coming back, so we'll see. And then that was just came up in compost. There was a zucchini plant. I never thought in a million years this was going to grow. And I believe I've got zucchini on here. Look at that. Oh yeah. I've got zucchini. Let me see if I can turn you around. I probably can't while I'm doing this. No, see, I'm hoping you can see it right here. Isn't that nice? I've got zucchini. So that was a surprise. And the rest of this, I can walk down here. It's just the same old you see, you know, growing all the time here on the garden tours. Everything is going really good. You know, I don't know if I think I've mentioned it a few times. These are growing like torpedoes down here. You've probably seen it. I don't know if I can get you down there. Let's see if I can get you way down there. See that? That one grows like a torpedo. But the reason it grows so big is because I've got that second thing growing here, which is a compost bucket I set up. And I put stuff in there from the kitchen, eggshells, everything. When I don't know where to put it, on top of that, I had already composted in place in this container. So when I open this up and water it, all those nutrients are going into the tote and then draining on the outside because this particular squash, zucchini, is growing next to the tote. That's why I say double duty. Just make everything work for you. And this is amazing. I've got cucumbers now growing. The wrong time of the year. So we'll see if we still get some more cucumbers. It just came up. I wasn't even sure what it was. And Gary said it's cucumbers. And then the peppers. Oh, Gary's crazy about his peppers. I'm going to have to freeze some or possibly dry some. I'm not sure. But little by little, what I'm going to do, my big thing here, is I'm going to go through all these containers. And when I know for sure they're done, then I can just chop and drop, basically. Just take it out, drop it back in, leave it, and then come in the beginning of the year when I know it's time to start growing zucchini. Zucchini is going to be my big thing because I use it for everything. And of course tomatoes, and there'll be other stuff. I'll be able to just put a layer on the top of some potting soil and then just get everything growing. Get tomatoes in there and just everything, and it'll be all ready. And everything I put in there will be breaking down all through the winter, so it'll be fantastic. Look, I have friends on the wall. What are you doing, guys? I have friends on the wall. So that's it. So nothing else new. Just wanted to say hello and wish you a really good day. So with that, have a great day. And don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye. I forgot to tell you about the tree. So I was looking through some old photos today, and I was looking for something I couldn't find. And then I found that I had videoed a bird in this tree, and I thought it was a regular woodpecker that we have here, the nuttle. And I looked at it and thought, oh my gosh, here I put a whole video together on all the species of birds. Of course, there's been a few more now that I've seen other birds. All the species that visit our garden and visit our yard. And here I had this video from last year, I didn't even know, of a red-breasted sapsucker. And I got some really good shots of it. And I look at it today, because of course I didn't look at it on the computer. I looked at it on my, my camera, and it was a tiny screen. I thought, oh, it's another male one. And I look at it today, go, oh my gosh, it's all red. He's got a white beak, and it's beautiful. So if you ever want to see what birds visit, it's a long video. I did it last year. I thought it would be something you can just put on the TV and let it run, because it goes for over an hour. I think it's almost 2 hours of just footage of all these different birds that come into our garden. But then I had people saying, no, they want me to put it up and narrate it, which I just put up a very short video on hummingbirds and all the different species and showing what they look like. And that one's, I think, about 6 minutes. But this one is long. It goes over all the species that we have seen here. And maybe I'll redo it. Maybe I'll keep it down to about an hour and go over each species and let you know which ones are here all the time. And these only come in for a few months. We have birds that come here just in the spring and they load up on food and then they leave. Some of them only nest here. So you never know. But I had a red-breasted sapsucker in this tree and I didn't even know. And I have never seen one since. I've seen flickers, but I have not seen a red-breasted sapsucker. Obviously I did, because I did a really good video on it. Need to check those videos better. And as far as the hat, anybody has questioned me, this is not political. I've been wearing a red hat for more years than I can remember. And I had one with just an R on it. And what it was is when we bought the house, somebody had left the hat and I didn't know anything about it, but it had an R. Now I make my own hats and put my name on it. So it's non-political, even though my sister dropped off a whole bunch of blue hats for me to wear. But it's got the name of her company that fired her. So I redecorated some of those. I just like red. And then I have brown ones and white ones, and depends on my mood, I guess. I just like red. I think it shows up nice. So it's a non-political hat. It's just the color I like to wear. It's not even my favorite color. Anyways, with that, I'm glad I remembered to put that in, because I know I told you, oh, I'm going to tell you all about the tree. Because my mind is always going 100 miles a minute, and I've got so many things always going. And I was talking about one thing, and then I wanted to tell you about the bird that I found today on video. So anyways, now I'm so glad I could share that with you. And I'll get that up one day on another video and go through again all the birds and maybe slowly narrate through them so you can see, because a lot of birds are not even native. They were introduced, some by accident, and they have found their way to our garden and they live here. So with that, have a wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye, everybody.